after the Grammys, I think it's time for us to talk about what is unholy in the music industry and why is the music industry so rampant, so full of symbolism. What is really going on? So we're going to be looking at that today. I'm excited and I'm not excited. So I'm excited to talk about it and I'm excited to put it out there. So more and more people are now talking about what they're noticing and what they feel is off, and just generally the whole energy is off, not just from our favorite artists, musicians, the music industry, Hollywood, but everywhere, whether it's businessmen, whether it is bankers, lawyers, anyone who is super uber successful. It's just everywhere, and everyone is now noticing and putting those dots together, just, piecing the puzzle together. So today, it's going to be a long one. I just want to warn you guys. So I could go really, really deep and into detail, but I've decided to stay more focused on certain artists that we've all noticed that something's wrong, that maybe their allegiance is not for the, for the good. And also we're going to be talking a little bit about, music and the lyrics and the symbolism and even a little bit of fashion, because we did a video on Balenciaga and that was super. And thank you everyone for the feedback. I just got such amazing feedback from that. And people praised me for coming out and talking about it. I'm not some kind of anti-hero hero that comes out and just openly talks about this. A lot of people are now talking about things, about everything that we've been noticing, and that is completely off. Let's start from sort of the beginning. We're not going to start talking about the music industry today. I want to go back a little bit, back to the 70s and the 80s. When, if you guys remember, some of you weren't born then, but well, I was born 79. So, but we did listen. I was very influenced. Both my parents love music. They're very musical. They love music. They have great taste in music and they've got amazing knowledge around music, especially my mom. So I grew up with a lot of these 70s rock bands. So David Bowie, Bad Company, the Eagles, Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple, all of that. All of that music would blare in our house. So I'm very, and as you guys probably know, because I've mentioned this before, I did work for Sony Music years ago for several years. So music runs my blood. I just love music. But here's the thing. I remember having this conversation with my mom about certain songs. So if you don't know, my mom is also psychic, she's extremely intuitive and psychic, but she doesn't know what to do with it. She hasn't worked on it. She's sometimes intimidated by her abilities, but she's really good if she wants to. If she lets loose and she works with her abilities, she's incredible. Now, I remember my mom back then, like we would talk about Hotel California. Do you guys remember Hotel California by the Eagles? So Hotel California still is, yes, and was one of my favorite songs because I grew up with Hotel California and the Eagles and Bad Company. They were my mom's favorite bands and albums. So I would listen to them. But there was a surge in the 70s and 80s. If you remember, there was sort of like a trend. I'll put it in quotes, where people, or not people, artists would create music, but at the same time, and back then they still used vinyl. And what you could do is reverse play the vinyl and you would hear some subliminal messages. And one of those, and the most well-known, and you guys probably remember that, was Hotel California. And it was very controversial at the time and still is somewhat, because it was really about Anton LaVey's Church of Satan. And I want to show you this as well. So this was on the sleeve of the vinyl. Okay, so you can see the photo was taken at Hotel California. And as you can see where the arrow is pointing, that is supposedly Aleister Crowley. So, and supposedly the hotel was used as the Church of Satan. And when you hear it played backwards, the song Hotel California, it does say, yea, Satan hears this. He had me believe in him. Yea, Satan, he organized his own religion. Yes, I remember we did that as children, as kids. I did hear it with my own ears and not just that song. But that was the message. Okay. Now, you can argue that that was sort of like a marketing ploy, especially back in the 70s and 80s. There was this surge of this, let's say, it was being satanic or devil worshiping was very much a trend. Okay. So they did, a lot of rock bands did use that trend or that marketing ploy to go against the grain, especially in the 70s. We had the Vietnam War. Okay, it was flower power. We had this socio-economic, let's say, revolution as well. So you can argue that these messages or these bands used, let's say, unholy practicing. So you can argue that back then there was a lot of this going against the church and religion and going against, dogma. So you can argue that this was sort of like part of that flower power, hippie, revolution post Vietnam War, where they did that sort of on purpose just to go against, against the grain, against institutions, governments, the church. But yeah, I would agree with that argument, but that has lasted for years, and it goes back years before the 70s too, and I'll get to that in a minute, and I'll show you everything that I've got for you. So Hollywood music scene, and not just Hollywood music scene, but the music scene is ripe with satanic rituals. It's everywhere. Let's see. Sorry about that. Right. So also another popular song from a very popular band was Stairway to Heaven, which also, if you listen to the lyrics, it does imply worshiping the lower entity or lower entities. There's a lot of symbolism in the lyrics too. And I have to say that I used, for a while with Stairway to Heaven, I used to have some dreams when I was younger, and I couldn't control my abilities, and they were just like all over the place, and it was chaotic. I would have dreams, and when I had dreams, specific dreams, that song would pop in my dream, and it usually was like an omen for something bad. Something bad was going to happen, either to me or someone that I love or someone that I care for. So I like the song, but I get triggered when I listen to it, I have to say, because of how I've connected that song and the energy that it brings to me. Now, aside for this, so I'm talking about, and then we have David Bowie, that a lot of people say that he was an occultist. We've got Prince too. I mean, I can name so many artists and singers out there that do, some of them did use witchcraft. They were in cults. Some of them did use like occult symbolism in their music videos or in their songs. There's so many examples, but we can't talk about everyone. So I'm just going to narrow it down. But before I get there, I want to say mostly, I would say, like with heavy metal music, dark metal, death metal, heavy metal music, you would say that devil worshipping or talking about the devil or pledging your allegiance to, you know, the devil or Satan or Lucifer, it was more of that genre. It was part of that genre because you have a lot of metal bands that do, you know, they do refer to that. But some of them were more of a marketing ploy, I would say, or it was part of that, you know, we're just, you know, we're metal bands. So we're just going against what church is saying. And because they do always, guys, and I tell you this because I was in the music industry, the music industry makes its money not from you and me, but from the younger generation, from the kids. Those are the ones that will pay, that will buy the albums, they will download nowadays. Back then, they were the ones who were buying the vinyl. They were the ones because they would go to clubs or bars and listen to music. And then once they listened to that music, then, you know, because you drink, you're in that mode. So you like the music and you want to listen to it again. Why? Because it triggers this feeling and these emotions of happiness, which was when you first heard the music, and you kind of like go, but your mind takes you back to that place. Even when I was at Sony, which was 20 years ago, 18 years ago, around that time, even then, like what we would do as soon as we had like a new artist and a new album would come out, we had people that would go around every night to the clubs and talk to DJs and say, hey, you've got to, you know, have a listen to this. You've got to play this tonight. Play it at least 3 times. You've got to play it. This is how they make money, because once they get you hooked on a song or an artist, that's it. So, and you know, kids, especially teenagers, they just don't listen to their parents. They just want to do anything in their power to annoy their parents and just rebel against them and against the rules. So heavy metal was some heavy metal bands are pretty much, you know, they pledge their allegiance to Satan and the devil for that reason, to sell albums, to connect with their crowd. All right. But there are some metal bands that are really satanic, that they do rituals. They do rituals in their music videos. They do rituals in their concerts, in their shows. And they come out and they say, yes, we believe in the Church of Satan. You know, we're not just Antichrist. We just believe in the Church of Satan. So some of these bands, and Isa, this is why I mentioned you, because 2 of those are Swedish and you might know them. But one of them is Watain or Watain. As you can see here, this is like a typical show. This is like a typical image or look that they would have during a concert. There you go. Here you are. This is the same band. All right. If you Google them and you read their lyrics, oh my God, it's terrible. All right, maybe you don't want to. Then there is Ghost. I think they're from Sweden, if I'm not mistaken. Look at that. Doesn't he remind you from that creature from Saw? Yeah, you saw my hand. There you go. Because I forgot you can't see me. Hi. So that is very creepy, but look at that. Look at how they're dressed. Look at the symbolism. Look at the upside down cross here. You've got the G. Do you see here on the full mask guy on the left? He's got a G. G is also the letter of Illuminati. Behemoth is another one. Look at them. They're all super creepy, scary, dark, horrible friggin' energy. Oh, I can't even look at it. But so you've got bands like that do, but at least, you know, at least with them, they're honest. They come out and they're like, you know, you listen to our music, you watch our videos, this is what you're going to get because this is who we believe in. My issue is with the more mainstream artists and the big artists, and we'll talk about them a bit later, where they just come out. Let's take it as an example, Sam Smith, the most recent example at the Grammys. And they come out. And that was, by the way, I'm sorry for jumping around, but that was so random. I never, ever, ever had Sam Smith doing that. He was always more of, and I think Light Mission said that in Discord. She said, I always saw Sam Smith more of like a male Adele, sort of, you know, that type, more of this type of music and the audience that he appeals to. And suddenly this is what happened. So, and a lot of people have and are arguing that it's all a marketing ploy. No, it's not anymore. Because we don't live, like if it was like 10 years ago, I would say, yeah, here we go. Yet another one who wants to sensationalize and sell albums and sell music. But now, the last few years, especially with everything that we know now and everything that's coming out, you're like, are you sure? Like, what are you thinking? But it's, if it is a marketing ploy, which it isn't, and we'll get to that. But it's just crazy. Look what's been happening with the whole Balenciaga issue. I had Emerald Green. She sent me the other day a paparazzi shot of Hailey Bailey. I keep calling her Hailey Bailey. Hailey Baldwin, and just a paper which I found straight. I think was staged. She was wearing Balenciaga hat, and Emerald was like, can you believe this? Isn't this ridiculous? What is she doing? Like, she knows very well what she's doing. Because right now, we're all so alert and we're all so awake and open to what's going on around us that she's doing it on purpose. Of course, because she wants people to talk about her. Negative press is good press, right? Sorry if I keep moving. Now, I just wanted to go back. So, what is really going on with all these modern artists? Because we're going to talk about the artists of our times right now, certain big names. And I want to go back a little bit back to if I'm not mistaken, in the 1920s, because you've all heard the saying, or you've all heard the term, he sold his soul to the devil, or I sold my soul to the devil, or they sold their soul to the devil. And yes, this is what happens in the music industry. And I'm going to start, and I'm going to say something else about the music industry. You might ask, why the music industry? Because the music industry, as well as the movie and entertainment industry, are the biggest industries in the world. And they have direct access to our consciousness. So they can directly program us through music, through film, through TV, through shows, to program us to think a certain way. This is what's happening. And this is spiritual warfare. I've been saying this for a very long time. This is light against dark, good against evil. Full stop. It's just that, as I said, because we're ascending, because of the age of Aquarius, because of the collective consciousness coming together and ascending together as well. The power of light, the power of spirit, the power of we as spirits, as souls, the power that we have, we are now able to rebuke it, rebuke. You know what I mean? So what's happening is, the energy, the power is getting stronger, both sides, light and dark, getting stronger and stronger. Why? Because it's coming to a peak. And I want to talk about selling your soul, or whoever sells their soul to the devil. It is a saying. And I'm going to tell you where it all started, but it goes way back, centuries ago. And if you do research and if you open historic books and books not about music, but about paganism, about devil worshipping, about even, I don't want to say it because I don't want to bring that energy, but even how 300, 400 years ago, how kids were seen as a commodity for the rich and powerful. This happens today too, but back then they wouldn't hide it. It was socially acceptable. But we're not going to talk about that now today. So I want to talk about he sold his soul to the devil. So this guy is Robert Johnson. If you like blues music, you probably know him because he is the most well-known, his story is the most well-known story in the music industry. He is a Mississippi blues singer and songwriter who, according to legend, he sold his soul to Satan, the devil, Lucifer, however you want to call him, in exchange for his remarkable talent in guitar. Robert Johnson started playing blues guitar in the late 1920s. He was said to have been let me bring myself back. He was a harmonica player. He was a decent one, but he was not great at playing guitar. So what he would do is like he would go around to different venues and he would say, you know, ask them if he could play for an hour or just like a set for free because he wanted to practice his guitar playing. He loved the guitar, but he was terrible at it. So yes, of course, they would allow that, but he was so bad. This is what it's being said, okay, that he was so bad that a lot of patrons would leave and they would complain that they would never come back. They wouldn't have their whiskey and wouldn't come back to that venue or that place if Robert Johnson was playing. So after several months where he really tried to find someone who would just have a little bit more faith in him and just allow him to play one or two songs an evening, he was just basically, he was exiled. Like no one wanted to hear him play. No one wanted to hear him play. Now here's what happened. So he, at some point, because no one would have him, he disappeared, completely disappeared. No one would see Robert Johnson. And usually they would all sort of see him playing, basking on the street, you know, sitting on the pavement, or they would see him sort of like hustling. No Robert Johnson. A month goes by and still no Robert Johnson. And a few weeks go by and he reappears. And he seems different. People who knew him said that he looked different. Something was different about him. And he was excited. He wanted to share with people that he learned how to play the guitar and he felt that he was very good at it now because he made a pact with the devil. So he claims that while he was walking alone on a mountainous path, he came across a man who changed appearance right in front of him. So he immediately knew that this person was not human, that what he encountered was some kind of entity. Long story short, this entity told him that if he signs his name in blood, Robert Johnson's name in blood on his skin, and he utters out the words that I am now, you know, I don't know exactly the words, but I presume it's like, you know, my allegiance is now to you, and, you know, take my soul, but give me talent, or take my soul and make me, you know, one of the best blues guitarists in the world. And he said, suddenly he had, once that was done, the next day he woke up and he had this urge that he wanted to play the guitar. And he picked up the guitar, and suddenly he started, like he said, like something took over him, and he started playing, and the music that came out was incredible. He said it took him a month of practice playing, and for him to accept the fact that suddenly he was such a great guitar player. And this is a very well-known story. It has been around. Everyone knows about this. It has been talked about. So you can Google Robert Johnson and you can read his full story if you like. Here he is again. All right. So what makes you think that this is not what's happening now? What makes us think that, or why shouldn't we believe that? Not all of them, but most artists, successful, super successful artists, have sold their soul. They have sold their soul to the devil. Why not? And by the way, it's not just Robert Johnson. There are several other extremely successful and extremely well-known blues artists, jazz artists out there that have said the same thing. Jimmy Page as well. It's apparently, or it is said that he was also an occultist, and that he believed in voodoo, and he had, I'm not sure, I don't remember exactly. I think he was, his godmother was a voodoo priestess, apparently. And I don't remember which song. Forgive me for that. I should have put it down in my notes. But there is a song where he's chanting, and it is a voodoo chant. I will find it, and I'll probably post it as a comment down below. Now, we will talk about the symbolism as well. What does it mean, and why? Why do they use symbolism? Are their shows and concerts ceremonial? Yes, they are. But why? How do we know they're ceremonial? We'll get to that in a minute. But before I go on, I'm just going to check the chat, you guys. I just want to see what you guys are saying. Okay, Gabrielle knows the story. Yeah, there's more. It's Paganini too. Paganini was another one who sold his soul to the devil. Right. Yes, gospel. I like gospel. It's so powerful. So powerful. It always just, I get the chills every time. I don't know what you guys, ghosts. Yeah, they're Swedish. Okay, that's fine. You know, it doesn't matter where they're coming from. Okay. Yes, we'll get to that. Danny, yes, I'm getting to that in a minute. Right. I want to ask you guys something else. Since we're talking about big names, so have you heard lately? So what came up lately or a week ago was the former bodyguard of Beyonce. Have you seen that on TikTok? He's put the video, he's taken the videos down because I wanted to save them and show them to you, and I didn't, but I found something else. I'll play it for you in a minute. So did you hear that he came out and he said, what do you think that he said? He said that Beyonce and Jay-Z are basically terrible people. They align with evil. The reason why they are so successful and so rich and they are where they are is because they've done terrible things that he does not mention, but he does hint on them. And just generally that he's also said that Beyonce is on drugs. He said a lot of things in several videos. Now, a lot of people said that he's after, he's just clout chasing. As you know, I read energy. I do feel that his intentions are pure. He did come out and say, he did go on a live with someone, and he did say that the reason why he comes out, he has lawyers, by the way. He has lawyers, and he does consult his lawyers. And he said that the reason why he does that is because they have something extremely valuable of his and he wants it back. And he won't stop until he gets it. Now, you can make different guesses as to what that valuable thing is, but I'm worried because I don't think it's material, if you know what I mean. I don't think it's a watch. I don't think it's his paycheck. I don't think it's his car. It's probably something else. Because again, when you make that pact as an artist, as a singer, you've got to follow through, you know? But at the same time, if you want to level up and you want, because of greed, because you want more money, you want more albums, you want more notoriety, then you've got to make a sacrifice. You've got to make a sacrifice. And the devil is not after cars, Rolexes, or Yeezys. Just saying. All right? We can only assume for now. So I want to play you guys the video, okay? Because I found another TikToker that talks about the video. And you can get the gist of it because I think it's important for you to hear what has been said. It's not everything. So funnily, and I should be doing this from now on because I did see all of his videos. They did come up to on my FYP on TikTok. And I should have screen grabbed or saved them on my phone. And I didn't, silly me, because instantly I knew that those videos are not going to be up for long, especially because I do feel that he's legit. So I'm going to play you the video.
I don't want no money. None. Not one single red penny. I don't want no clout.
Why is Uncle Ron spilling all the tea about Jay-Z and Beyonce? It's quite simple, really. Make sure y'all leave a comment. Let's get into it. In the continuing saga of Uncle Ron spilling all the tea on Beyonce and Jay-Z, his latest live stream revealed why he's actually going on the offensive with the Dream Team. First of all, he says that Beyonce is not in control of her life. He also says that Beyonce does not care about her fans at all. He also said he's not doing this for money or clout, but only to get a prized item back from them. So let's run the video from his latest live stream and stick around afterwards because we're going to go deeper into how they're connected to the Illuminati.
I don't want no money. None. Not one single red penny. I don't want no clout. We have already gotten in touch with each other, and only thing is, he has some property of mine that I need, want, and must have back. End of story. That's it.
Now, many of you were bringing up Jaguar Wright, which rightfully so. On Real Life Productions podcast, she was talking about how Jay-Z used a popular rapper as an Illuminati sacrifice. She also said the same stuff about Jay-Z and Beyonce and how Jay-Z is keeping Beyonce on hugs, which is basically confirming what Uncle Ron has already said. We also have Beyonce's former drummer, Kimberly Thompson, who was Beyonce's drummer for about 7 years. And she says that she's been bullied by the superstar, claiming she put a spell on her cat and ruined her love life by jumping into other bodies to watch her be intimate with partners. Which, by the way, all these rumors about the Illuminati and how Jay-Z and Beyonce are part of it, sacrifices and dark magic is all a part of it. Another really good point you guys kept bringing up in the comments is that Beyonce and Jay-Z do these kind of stunts anytime they're about to release music or go on tour. This is basically free publicity, right? But it is fascinating how many people are speaking out against these two. And let's be real, the rich and powerful do attract this kind of attention. But when so many people are saying the same thing, it makes you wonder. Let me know what you think in the comments.
Well, I wish I had the whole video so you guys could hear what Uncle Ron, as he goes about on TikTok, said. It's very interesting. We'll have to keep on this, you know, we have to keep our eyes peeled about that. So speaking of Beyonce, I just want to bring up, before I get to that, before I get to that and we talk about the Illuminati and the elites and the symbolism and what it means and why they use it, etc., I just want to bring up this. This is from Rolling Stone magazine, you guys, okay? And look at what it says. Queen Bey's affiliation with the Illuminati actually stems from a relationship with husband Jay-Z, who has been linked to the powerful secret society since the late 1990s. So Hoover rose to success with a string of platinum albums, blah, blah, blah. Conspiracy theorists began to speculate that the music mogul's powers extended beyond mere talent and bravado. And that Jay-Z was actually the, where is it? A member of the Illuminati. Do you see anywhere that it says affiliation with the Illuminati? When Rolling Stone writes about Beyonce, Queen Bee, affiliation with the Illuminati actually stems from a relationship with husband Jay-Z. There's no allegedly, there's no speculation, there's nothing of that. So Rolling Stone knows something that we now know too, all right? So this is interesting. And then I found this article about Jay-Z. And I don't know if you guys remember the rapper, Professor Griff. So from Public Enemy, he went to Coast to Coast AM. I like Coast to Coast. It's all about paranormal, spiritual. It's a great, I watch their YouTube channel. So you should also watch their channel too, because they've got really interesting guests and topics. So this is a syndicated radio show known for its emphasis on topics related to paranormal, etc. So Professor Griff explained how Jay-Z, wittingly or unwittingly, is helping the Illuminati use hip-hop as a way to infiltrate the Black community. Hip-hop's original intention, Griff said, was to raise up the dispossessed, but Jay-Z and other entertainers are subverting its purpose by using it as a weapon of control. Control is the key word here, and programming. Absolutely. So as you can see, it's not a big secret. So this is not a deep secret. It's been under our noses for all this time, and we just didn't want to see it. Why? Because everyone, mainstream media or people out there who just don't want to, they're not aware, or they're not awake, or they're not, or they don't want to see what's really happening around them. They just brush everything as conspiracy theory. And you know how I react when I hear the word conspiracy theory. So, and it's not a theory anymore. It's not. And it's not conspiracy either. It is facts. It's all around us. It's right under our noses. Rolling Stone magazine is a mainstream magazine and website. Jay-Z, what is he doing with his hands? What is that symbol? The symbol, the pyramid. It's not a triangle. It's the Illuminati pyramid. Here you go. Again. Beyonce. Look at that. And then we've got other symbolisms as well. Like, let's talk about Lil Nas X. This. Do you remember this? Do you remember these Nikes, this Satan Nikes that came out? There were like collector's items. Only a few pairs came out. And Lil Nas X was promoting. And look what he's doing. He's covering his eye. That's another symbolism that we've been seeing a lot. Where? Well, Nicki, for instance. Rihanna. Lady Gaga. I don't have Gaga's here, but Lady Gaga too. Look at this. Look at Lady Gaga here. Look at her costume. Look how she's dressed. Look at this. Nicki making this. Lil Nas X, we all know about that video clip that was very controversial. With Sam Smith, what I found extremely funny is, I mean, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. I mean, if I see red one more time from an artist, I'm going to scream. The funny part is that his show, Sam Smith and Grammys, was sponsored by Pfizer. Now, do I need to say anymore? And I don't want to open another can of worms today, okay? Because that is another can of worms. And I have to say, I'm not an anti-vaxxer or a pro-vaxxer or anything anti or pro. I'm just talking from not experience, but from what I'm picking up. Okay, from what I'm seeing, picking up, and I do a lot of research as well. I like to debunk things. So, all right. Now, speaking of Lady Gaga, there's another thing. So while I was sort of planning out and thinking what about today's show, and I I found this photo, and this is from American Horror Story. Remember the hotel? She was the Countess. Have you seen that specific season of American Horror Story? Because I watched it and I stopped watching it after that. Because I normally like Gaga, okay? Or back then I did. Now, Ryan Murphy certainly knows, or I'm not sure if he's part of this Hollywood elite, demonic, Illuminati situation, but he knows things. And if you watch American Horror Story, The Hotel, which I think is season 3, if I'm not, because I think season 1 was The House, 2 was The Witch's Coven, and I think 3 was that one. The Countess she remained powerful and beautiful and young because she would sacrifice kids and people and drink their blood. Now, that is, again, a whole other topic. We don't have time to talk about that. And you know what I'm talking about, because that's been circulating around. So, and to be honest, part of that, the adrenochrome theory that's going around, I'm a bit reluctant to believe it, to be honest, okay? Because they're child trafficking, child sacrifices, and all that is not happening because of their adrenochrome. You can get adrenochrome other ways too. Just scientifically, you can. Like, scientists do use adrenochrome because it does boost the your organism. Okay, so they do use it for special cases. Now, child sacrifices are happening not because of adrenochrome, but because of the purity of the soul. It's a control thing. The devil wants to have control, and he will control. If he can control the purest of souls, then he can conquer the world. That's really it. Really it. Well, not really it. There's so many other layers to it, but I'm just talking regarding adrenochrome right now. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is the symbolism, right? Because we talked about the Illuminati, or before I get to that, there's another thing. A lot of people think that this is the artists themselves. Like, it's their choice. Like, they choose because of greed, because of ego, because of, you know, this hunger for fame and money and notoriety, and just for them to go into the history books. It's them, okay? They choose to take this path. I have to tell you, it's not always that way. It's not always. The labels, okay, record labels are extremely, extremely powerful. When you sign a contract with them, it's like really signing off your soul. Really, it is. I tell you, I've seen those contracts. I know how it is. So a lot of times they say, especially with new artists, a lot of new artists, you know, They don't have a lot of money. They don't, you know, they're struggling. They're struggling artists. They're struggling musicians. They want to make it. So like the record companies that will say, hey, listen, I'm going to sign this $5 million contract. And this is a 5-year contract, a $5 million contract. But 5 years, you are under you're trapped under our rules and under what we want to do, our will, right? They give young artists, new artists, they give them money in the beginning before they even, like, not before, as soon as they sign, they get like a lump sum of money for them to go out, find a stylist, get new clothes, get a new car, get a new house, just create, okay, this world about them, even when like they haven't even come out with an album yet, even when no one's heard of them. If they believe that they can take control of you, and if they believe that you can make a bucket loads of money for them, then they will just create this world around you. They're going to woo you in. They're going to get you need a bodyguard, because as soon as the album comes out, you're going to be a huge hit. And then, you know, you're going to have swarms of fans around you. So you need a bodyguard. You need this. They create an illusion. And the artist gets into that illusion, lives the illusion, and believes that. Little do they know that the money that they get in advance, they have to pay it back to the record company, the record label. Okay. As soon as they start making their albums, their songs, their sponsorships that come in, start making the money, they've got to pay the record label. And also, if the record label does not like you, or they think that, maybe, you know, your color is fading, you know, or maybe, you know, you're not as popular anymore, they're not gonna break that contract. They're going to keep you there miserable. You're not going to be, look at what happened to Taylor Swift. She had to re-record her songs. Prince had to change his name. He went from Prince to formerly known as Prince, the artist formerly known as Prince. Why? To get away from that web. They're extremely, extremely powerful with us because they control and program us. This is what is really happening through TV and music. This is what they're doing. And the artists too. I've got to say, some of them, they do, especially younger, naive, more ignorant artists, don't know what they're getting themselves into. And they don't know who they're siding with. And then they find themselves, as soon as the first money comes in, popularity, sponsorships, interviews, they want more. And that's when they start sacrificing. That's when they start believing in evil more than the good. Because they can see that, the evil, I make money. I'm powerful. No one can touch me. It's all an illusion. They don't realize that. It's all an illusion. How many artists and actors have we heard either they've unalived themselves or they've lost kids? Tragic accidents with kids. We blame everything. As soon as we hear someone famous dies, everyone says, oh, he had a drug abuse problem, or he must have been the alcohol, or, he was heavily depressed. No, those are not the only issues that can lead someone to unalive themselves or for them to die. Sorry, it isn't. Okay. It's just something that we say because we've been taught to be said that, or to believe that, not even said that, to believe that. So let's talk a little bit about here I wanted to show you all of the artists. So that's another symbolism. Okay. Look at how many artists have been, you've got Gaga here. How many, not just in the music industry, basketball players, NFL players, you name it. They're normalizing their symbols. Why? And I'll get to that. Symbolism is the language of intuition, feelings, and the unconscious. This is it. The ubiquitous symbolism bypasses your conscious awareness, but is picked up and understood intuitively by your unconscious. So in this way, basically, they can put ideas into your mind without you being aware of it. Until you sit down, you pay attention and you start thinking. But the whole point is for you to not think, to take everything at face value. Everything that's being fed to you, for you to take it at face value. This is it. So look at this. We hear that this is the a dollar note. Okay. And you've got Illuminati Freemason symbolism right there. The same symbolism that these musicians and artists use, the pyramid and the eye. Why does the Illuminati use symbolism? It's a tool for mind control, because these symbols affect both the logical and intuitive ways in which we process information. So basically, they can plant any idea in our head and we'll just go, okay, all right, yeah, okay, sounds good. Oh, is that fashionable? Oh, is that trendy? Oh, I want that. I want to do that too. I should be thinking this way too. Look at this. This is the eye, the Illuminati eye, the same eye. And this is the all-seeing eye, basically, because the all-seeing eye is pretty much the big brother. It's pretty much big brother, okay? It's supposed to symbolize that there's no hiding, that God, the devil, whoever you believe in is, is watching you. And I'll explain right now what this means. It's a symbol of, it's basically depicted always inside a triangle, and it represents the group's ability to see and control everything, as I said before. It's also called the Eye of Providence, and it's the symbol for Freemasonry. Then the next one, well, I showed you the pyramid here, which the pyramid is a symbol of strength and stability. And in the context of the Illuminati, it is said to represent the group's control and power over society. Now, looking at that symbol of the pyramid, we know about MLMs and pyramid schemes. So do you see the connection? I'm not saying that all MLMs are Illuminati, but you see why, though, they use the pyramid scheme. Extremely smart, extremely controlling. Then we have the owl, which is a symbol of wisdom, okay? Ancient Greeks considered, Athena carried an owl with her, and that's the symbol of wisdom that comes from ancient Greece. And in the context of the Illuminati, it is said to represent the group's knowledge, basically, and their understanding of world events, because they know everything. Why do they know everything? Because they are everywhere. Everywhere. And then we've got the sun. The sun symbolizes enlightenment and is often depicted with a face, or the triangle, as you can see here, or with a face of rays. And it is said to represent the group's goal of spreading knowledge and enlightenment to the masses. And pretty much Illuminati, that's what it means. In Latin, it means enlightenment. And there are so many levels. Okay, Illuminati came before Freemasonry. And it's very debatable as to whether, so a lot of people just claim or argue that they don't exist anymore. But they exist. They exist because the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the pudding. Here you go. I mean, everywhere. Look at that. Travis Scott. I forgot to talk about him. Astroworld. There you go. See you on the other side. We all know what happened in Astro World, and there was so much talk about saying that this was energy harvesting or soul harvesting, energy harvesting. It was sacrificial, all that. Yes, of course. I mean, did you see the concert? Did you see? Look at his t-shirt. Look at his t-shirt. And it says here, see you on the other side. Look at that. The symbolism. I wanted to bring up, I didn't do that. I forgot. That's my bad. But I wanted to bring up Madonna, the way she looked in the Grammys. And I'm not talking about her plastic surgery. I'm talking about her hair and what she was wearing. Her hair reminded me, let me show you, the way she had the braids. Where is she? Got too many. The devil horns. She was wearing a very masculine suit. Succubus, incubus. That, like, everything. If you pay attention to Madonna at the Grammys, you'll see there's plenty of symbolism there too. There's a lot. Look around you guys. It's everywhere. I just brought some examples of really famous, well-known, super amazing artists. But if you look at their history and how they started and how fast they got where they got, and I can tell you, it's not easy. It's, yes, the music industry is a dirty business. And it's not easy, even super talented. I saw when I was Sony, there were so many kids that were so talented, young, either teenagers or young adults. They were begging our producers and A&R to listen to their demo CDs. And they were so incredibly talented. But not everyone's meant to be in the music industry, because if you can't influence through your music and your songs and your lyrics the way that the music industry wants you to, they're not going to sign you up. Full stop. I've seen this. I can attest to this. Facts. So it's controlling. They're controlling us. They're desensitizing us and normalizing devil worshiping. Illuminati agenda. Yeah, of course they have an agenda. Of course it is. They want to take over the world. And it's not your world order or kind of thing and all that. It is pure and simple. We've got to win this war. So we've got to talk about these things. We've got to be brave, not be afraid. See what happened to the bodyguard of the former bodyguard of Beyonce. He took down his videos. He said that he would go on a YouTube live and talk about it. He never did. They will find ways to hush you up. Okay. Yes, that's a risk for me too. But I'm not saying something here that I'm not uncovering or revealing or exposing something that no one knows. What I'm telling you here today, guys, are just, the proof is out there. You can see it for yourselves. You can feel it. And I want to hear what you guys have to say. Tupac, true. He says like creepy Jay-Z is not even a good. I agree. I don't see what the hype is all about. I send my son multiple IG friend requests. Funny you said that, TJ, because while I was trying to find these images for you guys today, you know what was the sponsored ad that just was served to me by Google? The Illuminati. And I actually went on their website. I actually went to, because I wanted to see if this is legit, if this website was legit. And then I freaked out because I'm like, oh, wait, because they can see my IP. They can get my IP address. Even if I don't sign up for anything, don't click on anything. I looked at the homepage, and then I just exited left. And I'm like, no. But I've heard that's what they do. Like Scientology, they target younger people because they're pure, because they're more susceptible to be influenced. Hold on, you guys. I missed a lot of your I want to be a singer when I was young. I used to complete. Oh, wow, Issa was arrested. This was a test. Balenciaga was a test. Yeah, they want to see how far they can go with it, you know? And this is what's happening. And now that's what happened with Sam Smith at the Grammys. And as you can see, there's backlash. Everyone's talking about it, but in a very negative way, not in the way that he would hope. And the fact that it was sponsored by Pfizer, I mean, is that a joke? Oh, Lord, what else are we going to see and hear, you know? Mrs. Weezy Boo says they control world events. They do, unfortunately. Something else I wanted to tell you guys. How about plane accidents, plane crashes? Yeah, of course those happen. Accidents do happen. Of course those happen, but some of them are unexplained. Let's MH713 Malaysia Airlines. I think it's 713. We still don't know what happened. We'll never find out, most likely. Maybe I should do a reading and find out what happened with that. Because who was on that plane, or who were on that plane, and they wanted for them to disappear. Yeah, they use the owl. It's just, oh, in Africa, not in Africa, owls. Are they bad spirits? Interesting. To answer the question about how are these shows or concerts that they're doing sacrificial, they are sacrificial because they are sending us subliminal messages. These are messages that go to our unconscious. And it's not, as I said before, it's not like it's not conscious thinking that you're aware of what you're thinking. It's almost like it reprograms your likes, your wants, your thoughts, your reactions, everything without you realizing, without us realizing that that's what's happening. This is how they control. This is how it's the piper leading the piper. It's like from the song from Stairway to Heaven. I'm trying to think of the lyrics. Oh, I knew the lyrics. So the piper will pipe and people will follow along. Anyways, you know what I'm trying to say. What's that? The song Amy House with Gin Wars. Oh, yes. What about the 27 Club? Amy Winehouse, Jim Morrison. There's so many in the 20s. Maybe we can do a separate video and I can actually do, maybe I can connect with Amy Winehouse, and because I want to connect with Amy Winehouse. Isn't there a not a documentary, is it a series or a movie that's coming out about Amy Winehouse? I mean, it hasn't, the critics are hating on it, but I think it's a good time to connect with Amy Winehouse. What do you guys think? What can we do to bring more light into the world? Be kind, help others. Always, if you know, guys, it's the simple things. It's like sometimes when someone is calling you and you're like, I'm not in the mood talking to them, I just ignore their call. Pick up that call. You never know. Just if you pick up that call and they just hear your voice, or if there's, you know, just that gesture can change someone's life and can do so much good without you realizing that. It's the simple things. Like if you can spare $5, €5, £5, and you're in the supermarket and you see someone, you know, who might need $5 or 10, give them it's the gesture. It's just being kind, and also raising awareness about the real evil, what's really happening. People should be aware and realize that the people that they admire, the people that they use as role models, are bad. They're evil. They're not what they think they are. What we can do right now, because we are in this huge transitional phase collectively, okay, is raising awareness, not being afraid to talk about these things, talk about these things open. I talk about these things openly now. Yeah, I know this is a members only live. This is close. This is because I feel more relaxed if it's just my family's around when I do this live, right? And I don't feel like I'm distracted by other people's energies, because guys, I do pick up your energies. I do. Even I don't look at the, I'm not looking at the chat right now, and I don't when I do these types of videos, and I feel your energy. And that's why a lot of healers and readers don't like to do lives. If you go on YouTube, you'll see a lot of them don't do lives. It's draining them. They want to protect their energy. I'm taking these risks. I'm doing all this at a risk. I will do this because for me, it's far more important. And I feel this is like a mission for me. I want to bring us all together. I want to build this amazing community through FemmeTarot, through this channel. Bring light workers, healers, beautiful golden souls and spirits like yourselves together, because together we can build on this power, okay? We can empower others, we can empower ourselves, and what we can do is we can change what's happening around us, because together, collectively, and as a community, you cannot imagine how much power we emit. Energy. My ear just popped as soon as I said that, and it's ringing. This is what's happening right now. My body's going cold. I swear to you guys, my right ear is ringing. This is the energy. This is spirit. This is just because I'm saying what I'm saying right now to you. And I'm saying it with all my love, but not only all my love, but I'm putting all this energy out for you, anyone who's watching this. Let's stick together. Let's come together. Let's help each other. Let's raise awareness. Let's change our mindset. Let's vibrate on a different frequency. We can do this. We can do this. I'll hold your hand. I'm right here with you. There are no leaders. There are no followers here. Okay? We're all one. We're all connected anyways. We're all connected to the same source, to the same energy source. But I'm here to guide you. I'm here to hold your hand. I'm here to help you. Let's do this. Let's help the world, because we can do it. And as you can see, it's happening already. It's happening. Of course, now there's gunk. We have to get rid of the gunk. We have to purge. Yeah, it's going to get ugly. But hey, if we're all together, okay, and we keep this positive mindset and we spread love and kindness, there's nothing to fear. We're going to be done with this sooner rather than later. Miss Weezy Boo, yes, you should have hope. Not just hope, you should believe. Belief is it's a big, strong word, and it's got so much power behind it. Believe in yourself, believe in the world around you, believe where our world, our society, our community, our collective, where it's heading. Believe in that. Spread the word, if you can, also share those videos, the videos that you think that might help certain people, that if they're struggling, if they feel lost, if they're affected by what's happening around them, but they can't pinpoint what it is or what's happening, help them out. Share with them some of my videos, other people's videos, anything that you think that will help people. Bring them over, ask them to join our community. We're here for each other. We got this, guys. We got this. And we will keep exposing. I will keep exposing anything that I see that I feel it's bad, it's evil. Also, because I want to protect the kids. The kids, our kids, guys, are the ones that they're the brunt of this. They're the ones who get all this information. They're susceptible to all this bad stuff that's going out and out there. And unfortunately, this is a generation where they're always on their phones. They're always in front of a screen. How can you protect them? Like, to protect them would mean that you have to take the TV away, the phones, the iPads, everything. But then you create your child ends up feeling exiled, feels you know, that they don't belong, because if he or she is the only one, you know, not on social media, not on electronics, then they feel outcasted. So we can't, that's an extreme example. But what we can do is just raise awareness with our kids too, to protect them. Be vigilant. Always make sure you know what they're watching, what they're listening to, music especially. There's so much crap music out there with horrible lyrics that the kids listen to. Unfortunately, my son watches YouTube, and sometimes he comes across some videos, you know, and he learns bad words. He learns things. He's asking me about stuff that I'm like, you're 8 years old. How do you know this stuff? You know, but I take the time, I sit down and I explain. I don't hide him the truth. I'm not one of those moms that like, oh, no, this never happens here, or this will never happen to this family, or, you know, oh, this is fiction. No. If he sees something, let's say he comes across something in the news and he asks me if there's a murder, if something horrible happens, I'm not going to protect him in the sense that I'm going to lie to him. But what I am going to do is just explain to him how the world works. Okay. So slowly but surely, I can raise a young man or a young woman that is fully aware of what's happening around them. They use their intuition and they know and learn how to protect themselves. That's all we can do. Just give them the tools. Just give them the tools. We can't restrict them. We can't isolate them. That's the worst thing you can do to kids. So, and especially after 2 years of pandemic, you know, they've suffered enough. So that's all we can do, you guys. And as I said, we've got each other. And I'm extremely grateful because you are family, you are femmies, you are my family. And for this, I will always be grateful for the love, the support, the understanding. And also, I love your energy, you guys. Your energy is what keeps me going. So all together, we can do this. I love you lots. Take good care of yourselves. Till next time. Bye.